Don't view the board meeting as some sort of chore you have to go through. You have to look at it as an opportunity. Let me tell the story of board meetings in general. So, a couple of things about board meetings. I always tell people, listen, don't view the board meeting as some sort of chore you have to go through. You have to look at it as an opportunity, because you've got, oftentimes these venture capitalists and people who are coming to your board meeting who are enormously highly paid professionals, who are spending and who have lots of experience, who are giving you, an hour or 2 hours of their time. Gosh, if they were consultants, you'd have to pay thousands of dollars for that board meeting. So why look at it as some sort of horrible chore that you have to get through? Look at it as a grand opportunity to get help from people. And the reason I've learned that is from watching one of my other mentors, a guy named Han Wong, who was one of the founders of NetIQ, manage board meetings. And he taught me the principles of board management. Some of them he taught me explicitly, some of them I just learned from watching him. But some of the principles that I have for board management, principle number 1, is never use the board meeting to decide something.
Okay.
Board meetings are for gathering input. Board meetings are for gathering feedback. There's no way to sort of go in. If you go into a board meeting and you don't know what the response is going to be to the various things that need to be approved, you shouldn't have that board meeting. You need to, as the CEO or founder, go to each board member in advance, explain to them what's going to happen, figure out how they feel about things, and then make sure that the board meeting is about bringing people together rather than bringing people apart.
That's a very good point.
The second thing I always tell people about board meetings is make sure you know what you want out of them from the board meeting. People will say, I want you to have a board meeting. They're just thinking to get through it. They just don't want anyone to bring up any nasty questions. Like, no, that's exactly the wrong way to think about it. They've already put their money into you. And if they're going to put more money in, they're not going to be dumb enough not to do due diligence. So you might as well let them know what's actually going on. And in addition, you should have an idea of what you want from them. Do you want an introduction? Do you want them to put more money in? Do you want them to approve this? Do you want them to approve that? How are you going to know if the board meeting is successful unless you actually have some objectives in mind that you can then measure yourself on afterwards? And the final thing is, in every board meeting, always give your board members homework, things that they can do for you after the board meeting, before the next board meeting. Why do this? Because every board member, every venture capitalist wants to feel useful. We don't like to think of ourselves as a bunch of parasites wandering around, writing checks and feasting off the work of entrepreneurs. We want to feel like we're contributing.
Yeah, of course.
And if you give venture capitalists and board members homework to perform, things that can actually help move the business forward, they'll feel better. And if you don't give them homework, they will find a way to make themselves more productive and helpful, and you may not like it. So why not channel that natural impulse and use it to get something useful?
That's so funny.